Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Premier, I understand that you personally have been a great advocate for the LGBTQI+ community and in particular have been supportive of a ban on harmful conversion practices. Indeed, you've made public commitments to introduce a bill into this House to that effect. The LGBTQI+ community were under the impression that this would be tabled and brought before Christmas, but now understand that this bill is yet to even be drafted. They are worried the successful anti-transgender motion at this year's state level conference, as well as the sponsoring of a petition by one of your government members, which also does not support a ban, means you may have gone cold on the bill or can't get the support of your cabinet colleagues. Premier, can you confirm that your government is 100% committed to protecting the LGBTQI+ community by banning conversion practices? And if so, can you please outline your expectations about when the community will see this important bill tabled and dealt with?
Honourable Premier.
Here.
That's being told.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question, and indeed our government has had a very proud record of supporting the LGBTIQ
for all those times you voted against marriage equality, but let's
communities, Mr Speaker, and we've engaged in many discussions with representatives of Equality Tasmania and the LGBTIQ+ community, as Minister for Education, of course, Minister for Health, and of course we have a whole of government framework as well. I welcome the Tasmanian Law Reform Institute's report on sexual orientation and gender identity conversion practices. It is of course concerning to hear of any practices in the community of this nature, and naturally our government takes these concerns very seriously. I've considered the report. I've met personally with people who have been subjected to conversion practices in the past, and acknowledging, of course, the harm and the distress that this has caused. And we want Tasmania to be a place, as I've said many times, where everyone feels and is supported and included and valued and supported to be the best that they can possibly be. And I'm aware that other jurisdictions have introduced various laws in relation to this matter. Our government has sought advice from our relevant agencies, as we do with all complex law reform proposals and recommendations. The Departments of Health and Justice are undertaking further policy analysis and stakeholder engagement to properly evaluate the Law Reform Institute's recommendations and provide further advice.
They put out 2 years ago.
To government.
You've had plenty of time.
I can assure you our government is committed to making decisions on the basis of expert advice and the basis of best practice as well, Ms Johnston, and the priority focus on the health and wellbeing of all Tasmanians. I have made it be known to representatives who are advocating for a change that it's likely to be next year in terms of the legislation. I've been very open and upfront with that in terms of our need to consult, and indeed the many other areas of focus that our government are currently involved with. I anticipate the community consultation on draft legislative amendments will commence in 2023. I do encourage everyone to participate in the consultation process when it's underway, but we are committed as a government to making decisions on the basis of expert advice with a priority focus of ensuring the well-being of all Tasmanians. But of course, I've made commitments personally prior to the last election. My personal views are well known, and with respect to these matters, I've made commitments as well during the budget estimate process, and I can assure you and all people within the LGBTIQ+ community that legislation will be available and tabled in this Parliament. It will be next year, and I've made that clear to the representatives that I've spoken to in terms of that time frame, and I understand that the expectation was perhaps this year, but I want to ensure that we get this right for all Tasmanians, and particularly with a focus on people's well-being and the importance of living and being within a state where people do feel supported, valued and included.
Mr. Speaker.